Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. So I have a special video for you here today. I'm over at the Just Law Solicitor offices in Spain, and we're going to have a little discussion about visas and moving to Spain. So I'd like to introduce Marisa here from Just Law. So Marisa, if you'd like to introduce yourself and the firm.
Okay, good morning everybody and welcome to this channel. But my name is Marisa Moreno Castillo. I'm the founder and the senior lawyer for Just Law Solicitors, which has been established in 1992. Even I have been working before for any law firms in Madrid.
Perfect. All right, so I think we'll start off with maybe the golden visa. So what is the golden visa and kind of what are the requirements for that?
Okay, golden visa is a kind of visa that is Spain established maybe almost 18 years ago. And the basic requirement is to invest in a property 500,000 euros, okay, or in public debt or in a stock market around 1 million or 2 million euros. This is the basic requirement, okay?
All right. Now for the property, does that have to be one property for 500,000 euros or can it be multiple properties?
Could be multiple properties and don't have to be a house. Could be a commercial property, could be garage, parking places or whatever. But the minimum investment is 500,000 euros. But this is for the applicant. That's mean because sometimes happen to us, many times, that the couple think that buying a house, for instance, or any other kind of property for 500,000 euros is enough, and it's not enough. For the applicant, it's 500,000 euros, and then the applicant can take all the family with him or with her.
Oh, okay.
You know, but if it's a couple and it's a joint ownership of the property, has been 1 million euros.
Oh,
and cannot be any mortgage.
Right. Okay. No mortgage.
Yeah. So this is basically doing easily, you know, the golden visa, and it's a visa for 1 year at the beginning, and afterwards for 2 years, and afterwards it's permanent. But you have to keep the investment, or you can sell this property and buy another one.
Okay. Now for dependents like children, does the value go up for that or is it just for the spouse, like where it goes to 1 million? Like if you had 2 kids, would you now need 2 million?
No. Let's say that if it's a couple, let's stay with a minimum of 500,000 euros, okay? The property has to be, doesn't matter if they have a jointly regimen of the marriage, doesn't matter. That has to be in the name of he or her, or if it's another kind of couple, a gay couple, but one of them, of the couple has to be the property, otherwise has to be the double. Nothing to do with the children.
Okay.
Yeah, nothing to do with the children. And the good things of this kind of visa is that if you think how much was 500,000 euros 18 years ago and how much is now, it's not a big deal.
Very true, yes.
You know, in fact, some side of the government, the Spanish government, is now pushing to delete this visa. You know, because they say that they increase the price of the property and the workers cannot, the value of the market and all this kind. But I don't want to get involved with that. I only said that at the moment it's a law and it's very difficult to delete it. This is true, because it's a minimum part of the parliament who is proposing that. And the good thing is that allow you to stay here and work here too for all the family.
Okay, yeah.
It's not only a resident permit, it's a work permit too.
Right, yeah, that's a big difference from the non-lucrative.
Yeah, that's it.
Which, probably the most popular visa, I think for my viewers anyway, is the non-lucrative or the non-working residence visa.
Yeah.
So can you explain kind of what the requirements are for that? Because that's what I think most people are after.
Yeah, well, the non-lucrative visa, well, obviously, the main requirement is that you cannot work in Spain. You can live, but you cannot work. So you have to prove that you have your own measure to live. Just bank deposit, incomes from rent property in your country, whatever. But you have to prove. Now the level of this financial requirement is changing because it's not a fixed amount. It's an amount that is 400% of the minimum salary in Spain.
Right.
So as the minimum salary change every year or every certain years, it's not like people say, but this has been changed. It's going to change all the time, you know.
Right.
So
it'll always get more expensive.
that's it. More or less now is around 33,400 euros for the applicant and around 8,500 per the other family member.
Including the children.
Including the children.
Okay, right.
Okay,
yeah.
More or less is what we have now. It's a year resident permit, and of course you can apply for a renewal when it's the expiration date, first for 2 years and after for another 2 years and after for permanent. The main point in this kind of visa is their final requirement, but is obviously to not have criminal records.
Right, yes, criminal record.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the other requirement, but the other requirements is you know to prove the financial that you have no contagious disease and these kind of things. But it is it's not that if people are thinking in coming here as non-lucrative visa, this is the main points that they have to think about.
Right, and another question I always get is, can you use an Airbnb or other holiday rental as your address for the application?
No.
No, you can't. You can't do that.
No. In fact, even if you have a contract for 6 months, they don't want to accept it. Has to be your permanent resident.
That's right.
You know, so your permanent residency has to be at least 1 year. Or maybe because there is, for any reason that we don't want to get involved in, you're going to find a lot of agents that are going to offer you 11 months instead of 12. But this is something that is wrong, but we don't want to get involved in that. But
Right.
it has to be like your permanent residence.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay.
your permanent house. Yeah.
Now, if somebody wanted to apply for that and they wanted to use your law firm to help, how long before the application goes in should they apply? Because the application can take up to 3 months to be processed from the consulate. When should they contact you?
Okay, I think that they should contact us as soon as they make the decision, you
Right.
know, because we can help them to do the documents. What we do is first thing is to do a due diligence of your circumstances and help you to prepare all the documents in the right way. As you know, we are a very bureaucratic country, and as a very bureaucratic country, this could be a dream or a nightmare. You know, I always said, you know how, if you know how to deal, okay, they say 3 months and later is 6 months. Okay, this is part of the because depending on the consulate, they take much longer or a shorter period to resolve, you know. But it's true that the term in Spain as longer always that you think, so you have to think in advance. So we prepare all the process. We prepare mentally the clients to deal with the bureaucracy. Sometimes because from the Anglo-Saxon countries and the other countries of Europe, you are used to have, if they say 20 days is 20 days, that doesn't happen in Spain.
Yeah, that's right. So just for instance, I used Just Law for my visa, and I reached out to them probably 6 months, 5-6 months before I even submitted my application. So you should probably do that too. One more question on the non-lucrative. If once you arrive in Spain, if you want to move to another province or autonomous community, are you allowed to do that under that visa, or you? Yeah, you can.
You can do it. You cannot do it with a work visa. Not with the golden visa that is completely free. Okay.
Right.
But with we can talk about that. But with the non-lucrative visa, you can move from. Let's say if you have your non-lucrative visa in Malaga, you can live in Barcelona. No problem at all.
Okay.
No problem at all. And the only point that you have to bear in mind is when you have to renew your visa, you have to apply in your residence because you have to be registered at the town hall.
Right, yes. Yeah, so if you do move to a new place, you'll have to get a new empadronment. Right. and
Last
so
one,
on.
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. And I guess we'll move on to the next visa, which would be the Digital Nomad Visa, which everybody is talking about. It's brand new. So can you shed some light on the Digital Nomad Visa?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of inquiries about the new Nomad Visa. Nomad Visa, we have been expecting for this visa like, I don't know, since 3 years ago, you know.
Right.
They said everybody talk and everybody, but at last we have very end in last year, in December 20th or 20 something last year, the law was granted at the parliament, and we have now. And now it's very new, but basically is that there is 2 ways to apply for the Nomad Visa, and is from Spain if you are resident, because maybe you can have a non-lucrative visa, sorry, yeah, that's it, non-lucrative visa, and you can change into the Nomad Visa.
Oh, okay.
And you
all
can
right.
do it.
Good to know.
If you accomplish with the requirement, the legal requirement. So you can apply from Spain if you are resident in Spain, or in case that you have with a tourist visa and you want to apply.
Okay.
Okay. According to law, the government has to reply in 20 working days.
Okay.
I will surprise if they
yeah, that's very short.
But the good thing is that the silence from the administration means that the visa has been granted. So it's a great news.
Okay.
Because that not happens very often in the Spanish law, you know. So it's very good. It's a way to attract talent, to attract high qualified workers. So yeah. And the other way to do it is in the Spanish consulate in your residence, in the country of your residence.
Okay.
Okay. Yes. So it's the depending if you apply for Spain it's for 3 years. Of course, criminal records always.
Always.
Some financial requirements too, not as so high as the non-lucrative visa now is for the applicant is around 25,000 euros more or less, and like 7,500 for the rest of the family.
Oh, okay. All right.
But it's very interesting because you can move all around Europe, because even if you're resident in Spain, as you are remotely worker, you can be in France, even if you are, of course you have to accomplish with some days to stay in Spain, you know,
right.
But you can go 3 months with any kind of visa to France or to Germany or to Sweden, and stay there or remotely come back, you know. It's
very flexible.
It's very flexible, and this kind of visa has something very good, is that it has some tax advantage.
Advantage.
Yeah,
okay.
That is complicated now to tell, because depend on if each circumstance, personal and financial circumstances, on the job that they're going to do, and these kind of things to study, and each scenario is different, but it has some advantage. One of the advantage is that you can choose to not pay in Spain any taxes for the last for the first 3 years.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. So it's very good, you know.
Yeah,
you don't pay
only
a very little amount, unless it's gradually more and more. But yeah, it's very interesting, and this kind of visa can be applied by workers, employees that are working already for companies located abroad.
Okay. Yes.
Or for professional, freelance, self-employed, that has client abroad.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Only the 20% of your incomes come from a Spanish client.
All right. So you can't come here on a digital nomad and open a Spanish-based business, right? Okay.
And you have to prove that you have been self-employed before, or you have been employee before. You know, again, criminal records, of course.
Right. All right. Well, I think I have some other viewer questions here that kind of don't fit into a visa. So one question I had is, can Canadians buy a property in Spain as a non-resident?
Absolutely, yes.
Absolutely, no problem.
No problem at all. We have a lot of clients that are happy in their house from Canadian, for Canada, sorry, Canadian clients that are happy enjoying their property here.
Perfect, perfect. Another question I had is there a flat tax in Spain, or is it like a tiered system based on your earnings?
Okay, we are talking about property tax, what the English talk about, they call like stamp duty, or we are talking about income tax?
Income.
Income tax is going to be different in each, at least in a few communities, Canary Island, Country Basque, and maybe Catalonia, but no more. But basically it's a flat rate, but you have to think that for instance, with Canada, we have a dual taxation agreement.
That's right.
That's meant that if you are pensionist, you're only going to pay here. If you are tax resident, because this is not something that we have to point it out later.
Yes.
You know that your private pension going to be taxable in Spain, but your public pension going to be taxable in Canada.
Okay. So Spain won't tax a public pension.
No, we don't going to have any, but it's because of the dual agreement, tax agreement.
Right.
Okay, so what's mean that you don't want to pay the double.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
what you pay in Canada is going to reduce what you have to pay here. Because if you are taxed, and this is the point that I would like to explain now. If you can have any kind of visa to reside in Spain. Not to work, but to reside in Spain, to be a resident in Spain, and not be taxable in Spain.
Okay.
Okay. To be a resident in Spain, you have to be here at least 180 days per calendar year.
Yes. All right.
But if you stay 183 days per calendar year, you're going to be considered tax resident.
Yes.
As tax resident, you have to declare all your universal incomes, all the incomes that you have all around the world, and has to be declared here. But due to the dual taxation agreement, you're going to declare, but you're going to reduce the taxes that you have paid in this case in Canada or in the States or
okay. So basically the taxes you would pay in Canada act almost as a credit onto your Spanish taxes. Okay, that makes sense.
That's it.
And if you're here on the non-lucrative, you will become a tax resident because you have to be in the country so long for your visa to mean.
Yeah, but even with the non-lucrative visa, it's only 3 days, but you can manage. But you have to prove that you have been away from the country, and if it's only 3 days, that is difficult, because if you have more than these 3 days, you are not taxable, but maybe you can lose your visa. So it's a very red line to be very careful.
Definitely. Another question is, can a lawyer assist with the purchase of a property in Spain versus, say, like an agent?
Yeah, look. Agent has not the legal preparation. The agent is just to find properties. It's true that the European law allows many expert advisor consultant that has no any kind of degree to advise in all things, all legal matters that are not involved court cases, as the lawyers that we are, that are registered and regulated in the Bar Association, that we can do. We can do the extra court things matter, legal matter, and of course matter. But we always recommend to hire a lawyer. If you don't want to hire us, it's okay, but always hire a lawyer and regulated and registered at the Bar Association, because of course there is good lawyers, bad lawyers, as every other profession, but that means that if you have a lawyer that is registered, and you can ask just for the member number and the Bar Association, that means that at least he has to accomplish and is obliged to do all the things according to an ethical code. We have subject to the consumer rights law, and of course to the court resolution. That means that if you had any problem, you can claim against us, but we are insured with a civil responsibility by negligence in our job. So it's a warranty for the clients. It's a warranty that we have a legal degree, that we have passed a master, that we have passed an exam to go to the bar, and we are registered, so we have subject to many obligations in front of the client, and we are insured.
Right.
Of course, it's not an obligation to have a lawyer to buy a property.
No.
But let me say that I'm a lawyer, and if I have to buy a house abroad, I'm going to hire a lawyer.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah, so I guess one last question would be, some of my viewers ask, do the taxes change based on where you live in the country of Spain? So if you live up north, maybe, is that different from living down south? Is there different taxing rates?
Well, that is a very complex and controversial matter, okay? The country Basque, because the historic of this territory has tax benefits.
Okay, so there's a few tax benefits up there.
And Canary Island, for instance, is because, not now, but 20 or 30 years ago, was remotely territory.
Okay.
So, for instance, a civil servant earn more money, Ceuta and Melilla, the two cities that Spain has in the north of the coast of the Morocco.
Yes.
It's different too. But it's the very point, there's not, to tell you the truth, you have to go where you like, because the difference is not so much.
So it's not really an issue.
Thing like this. Oh well, maybe to establish a company is different.
Right. Yes.
But depending, because if you are Google, maybe, but if you are a self-employed, doesn't really.
Yeah.
You want to live in Canary Island? Or don't get me wrong. I'm growing up in Canary Island and I love it. so no problem for me. But it's not. Doesn't worth to make a decision where to live because of the taxes.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And of course it's different. No. We are talking about the income taxes now, but the rest of the taxes, of course, the property taxes are more expensive in the big cities than the small cities than the rural villages. But it happens all around the Western world, at least, as far as I know.
All right, so if some of my viewers would like to reach out and maybe obtain some of your services, what's the best way to contact Just Law?
Well, you can email us to info@justlawsolicitors.com. You can visit our website. You have a contact form too. There is www.justlawsolicitors.com, and we cover whole Spain. And we do, as you well know, we do in-person and online services. Some clients I never meet in person.
That's right,
and we have a very good relation. And we have been helping for the last, I have been practicing 35 years this year.
Yes, so for my case, the first time I met anybody from the law firm in person is actually today. So I did my entire visa, moved, and I've been here for 5 months, and I've never actually had to come into the office. So it's very, very smooth. You can do an online consultation. Well, I think that wraps everything up. If you want to say some closing words, thank you for taking the time, Marisa, to join the channel, and I think it'll be very helpful for everyone at home.
Yeah.
So thanks so much.
Yeah, we are to help all the people that need any legal matters in Spain.
Perfect. Thanks very much, guys, and we'll see you in the next one.